Okay folks, welcome back to this latest video in my playthrough series, and this one's going to be pretty weird because I recorded all the segments for this one and for the next one and the one after that with my microphone settings somehow having just completely changed. They're essentially non-existent. My voiceover just didn't happen at all when I was actually recording these. So I'm going to try to recreate what I was talking about as I'm looking at the playback of the video. So it's not going to sound like I'm actually really, while things are happening, telling you what's going on. There's just no way I'm going to have that kind of live reaction. But I'll do the best I can because if I just delete these next three videos, I've made enough progress that it's going to look really silly for me to just jump forward to what essentially a level 22 with all of my crafting and a bunch of crafters and so on. So yeah, let's give this a try and see if I can make a go of it. And there I am. I've started back into the actual display. So I think what I said is I set up this platform here for a wheel of recruitment, for a one-spoke wheel of recruitment down here, in addition to the one that I have outside of Seppermaru. I make the platform way bigger than it needs to be so that it's the size of the four-spoke wheel of recruitment when I get to the point where I can learn how to make that. Obviously, I can't yet. Here I'm a level 19. I'm also showing you this. This is the thrall pot, and it basically is a place where you can put food for your thralls. The reason I use it is because I'm showing you. Oh, here I'm trying to figure out where you can find it, and it appears as an item once you've actually learned the companion set, and you kind of need your crafting hammer to be able to see that. So I bring it up, and I'll show you here. It's under decoration. So the things I know now in decoration are, storage, statues, and now this one thing for companions, which is making the thrall pot. Why do you want a thrall pot? Until you learn how to make a preservation box, which is, the refrigerator essentially, food will decay pretty rapidly. If you put it in the thrall pot, food will decay at 1/10 the speed that it does out in the environment or in a box. I'm showing you these like Eyes of Innocence, which sadly you get from killing the little hatchlings. That's normally a 24-hour expire timer. It's now at basically 240. It's gone down a little bit, 237. So as soon as you create the wheel of recruitment and you start recruiting your companions, your team members, create a thrall pot. So that you can put your own food and their food in there, and it won't, decay or disappear. I also, once I got down here, I created a furnace so I can start smelting some of the ironstone I picked up on the way back. That was all along part of my plan. One of the advantages of having any kind of a follower is that they have slots that you can put stuff into, and they're not bound by weight encumbrance. They're only bound by how many slots they have. So I think at this point I'm going in here trying to find I guess I must have been trying to find where I need, or whether or not I've got everything. Oh, I know what it was. I said while I was off camera I went out and I got a ton of resources. I went out and you can see I got a lot of stone, a lot of wood, bark, resin, so on. Also, I'll have enough stuff to make all of the various crafting stations that I want to make. And I should be doing that very quickly. I think what I'm doing here is considering I'm about to change over from the Thrall Taker journey back to the blacksmith journey. Because the next thing I'm going to make is a blacksmith bench. And to do that, or if I did that without being in the blacksmith journey, I would just waste that step. It will show if I put a blacksmith bench down without being in the blacksmith journey and I click on it, it will show I've finished that particular journey step. But I figure I might as well. Why am I showing settings? Server settings. What did I do here to change things? That's interesting. Oh, I know what I did. I turned off living settlements. So I scroll up here. See, the living settlements are now enabled, which means when I put Inigo down in the and then it told me that I need to restart for that to apply. So I said, okay, I'm not going to worry about that. But living settlements is a feature that came in with Age of Heroes, the most recent Age, and a patch that dropped in late October. And it means that your crafters no longer just stand at a bench doing the same thing all the time. They actually move around your base. They will go somewhere to sit and rest. They will go somewhere to lay down and sleep. They will go somewhere to get food and eat. They don't actually use up any of your food. It's all just role-play animation. And you know, the idea is it looks good. They really screwed it up when they implemented it back in October. Your thralls would just randomly disappear, and it turns out they would teleport to a position in the game which is 0, 0, 0, which is X number of hundreds of feet up in the sky, floating above a certain point in the upper highland, the northern highlands. And it was really, that was just one of the many things that were screwed up with living settlements. So I'm going to turn it off, and when I restart much later, it will no longer be a thing. And you see I'm here, I'm shifting over to the blacksmith journey. So now once I make this blacksmith's bench, you know, that journey step will tick off for me. And that's under crafting stations, smithing, of course, and you know, it's telling me what I need there. It's one of the reasons why I made the iron bars back up outside of Sepamaru and here. What I did there is I actually clicked on place the bench, even though I didn't have the materials, just so that it's the first thing that comes up the next time I bring up my construction hammer, so I don't have to hunt around for it. But yeah, I made the iron bars so that I would be able to do this. I remembered that I need iron bars both for the Wheel of Recruitment and for, I believe, just this one. I don't think any of the other starter workbenches or workstations actually require. So I'm trying to get this as close to the fences as I can. When you're walking around like this, you don't have a ton of really super fine control over using the A and D key to move sideways. Since I had admin turned on so I could turn off the living settlements, I could have gone into a setting that allows you to float, fly, but you basically just float in the air. And your movement control with your lateral A or D keys is way finer, way more granular. So here I need to open up the iron tools knowledge, and in a second you'll see I completed the entire blacksmith journey. And that's because I have on me the next two things it wanted. It wanted me to make an iron tool and an iron weapon. And I have, well, steel. So if I've made steel, the game assumes I must have already gone through iron. The rewards of these are just the weapon repair kits. And, you know, not to dismiss them, but I've already picked up advanced weapon repair kits and advanced armor repair kits during my walkthroughs of Sepamaru. So, you know, I don't really need advanced or basic weapon repair kits, but it was a freebie, so we'll throw it back in there. I'm not going to throw it away. Those recover your durability of your weapons and armor. if you don't, particularly helpful if you don't already know how to make, like I don't know how to make any of the weapons that I currently have, the steel weapons or perfected steel weapons. Um, so as they go down in durability, I can recover them using those weapon repair kits. All right, so now I moved over to the Tanner journey step. Um, and the first one was craft a stone skinning knife. I did that way back at the beginning. So now I need to go skin a corpse. Um, oh, I'm pointing out here. So the reward is something that I want, but I'm not going to be using for a while. The improved Tanner's table is enormous. It takes up so much space in your starter base here that it's not worth it. So might as well get that ready. Get that stone skinning knife ready. And I'll tell Mandagai, because I told Mandagai to follow me, not just because it's easier to just stand there and watch your follower kill somebody, because if your fighter is following you, they gain experience with every kill, whether they kill it or you do. So me going out to kill something to skin a corpse would be just an absolute waste if I didn't have Mandagai with me. Apparently I need to access, I needed to use a pick to get bark, even though I've already got a ton of bark. Might as well go ahead and get a little bit more and click off the journey step. Now I need to access or place a tannery, and for some reason I've got my pickaxe up. I guess this must have been to show you why I use a pickaxe. When you attack a tree with a pickaxe, you get everything you can possibly get off of that tree. If you're using just a hatchet, you get wooden branches. If you're using just a pick, you get bark and resin. You get all four of those off of every tree you knock down with a pickaxe. I can't learn pickaxe for a while, and I only picked up one of them in my walkthrough of Sephiroth. So the next time I go back up there, I'm going to really hope I get at least one more, because they are very handy. I'm assuming I'm going to place the tannery here. Trying to figure out where I want to put it. And the reason I'm trying to figure that out is the tannery is one of the biggest, biggest, I guess is the right term, pieces of initial crafting station you can make. And you see it's here under smithing for some reason. I guess it's because you make leather and you're making leather armor, and the armorer's bench is under smithing, and et cetera, et cetera. And they didn't want to give it its own space. You see, I need more stone, which I got plenty of. A lot of times I will do that. Rather than typing in the actual amount, I'll just slide down using the slider to something close enough. All right, now I'm going to try to get this as close, again, into the corners as possible, or into the corner as possible, up against the fences. I don't want it to clip into the fence if I can avoid it. I've seen posts before that if you have that happen, the fence is no longer as effective as it should be, and things can actually just walk through it if they push at it hard enough. I think that might actually be true, because in other playthroughs I've had shellbacks just come wandering into my workstation or into my building, into my base building before. And that's not good. So I'm just gathering all of the stuff that I had previously saved to actually use in the tannery, including bark. And that's the most important thing you need for the tannery. Obviously, all of that stuff has made me over-encumbered. So I walk over to the bench, more like I actually do in real life than the character does. don't know why I'm saving. Yeah, there we go. I don't know why I was saving that last little bit of bark there. And you can see I've started it because the journey step is now I need to acquire leather from the tannery. And that was a mistake. I didn't want to order Mondagai to come up here. I actually wanted to access the bench, but E is also, it's the use something tool, like access a bench or pick something up from the ground. It's also the command key for when you have a follower. So if there is nothing that you're aiming at that you can interact with, like opening a bench, opening a box, picking something up off the ground, and you hit the E key, it just automatically assumes that what you want to do is command that follower. If you don't have a follower, obviously nothing happens. It's a little cumbersome. I could swap the key, but most of the keys on the keyboard are already assigned to something else, and I don't want to necessarily screw that up. I've already swapped my dodge and block or block or kick keys, and I'm so used to where they are now that if I do a playthrough, like say on my laptop, where the keys have not been adjusted, I will screw things up a lot. You know, I will forget how to block with a shield and get attacked. I will forget how to dodge and wind up putting my weapons away. You know, it's pretty silly. So now I need to craft the Tanner's Table, which is what this thing is. This is the first version of it, and like I said, when I get to the end of this, which I've just completed, I learned that great big monstrous improved Tanner's Table, which I will put in here eventually because it will give me, you know, extra storage space. It will give me access to making things that I don't currently know how to make, and it will speed things up. But it would take up, I'm backing up here, it would take up basically, I think it's 1.5 foundations wide and two full foundations deep. I mean, it would just eat up almost all of the space that I have here. All right, so I think the next one is I'm going to change over to the armorer, and to do that I need to unlock the armorer knowledge, which I'm trying to show you here. And you know, once you click away from it, it no longer shows you what you need to do. So armor knowledge is obviously under armorer. I'm not going to learn anything else under the armor knowledge. That Exile Collection thing is a mod, and it's got some pretty interesting armor pieces in it, but until I get to the point where I learn sorcery and I can do the illusion system where I can make armor look like other armor, there's no point in me having that. And you see, again, I needed to craft a skinning knife, did it. I need to skin an animal, got to go back and do that again. Let's wait for Mandagai to get out of the water. So I just clicked over level 20 and it unlocked the sorcerer journey where I can learn sorcery. I'm not going to do that right away. And the main reason why I'm not going to do that is the very second thing you have to do in the sorcery, the second journey step, will gain corruption. And when you get corruption, both your stamina and your health bar get permanently reduced by the amount of whatever corruption you're gaining until you get to the point where you can stand in front of a dancer entertainer, and having an entertainer will reduce your corruption. It's the only thing that reduces your corruption. I had some stuff obviously cooking there in the campfire, and I realized I needed to bring them out to the thrall pot here. Um, so eventually I will get an entertainer, and then I will do the sorcery journey step, or start the sorcery journey, but not right away. And again, I'm storing all of the putrid meat in here just as a convenient place to put it. I'm going to need it eventually when or want it eventually for both sorcery and when I learn how to make a fluid press. You can make ichor out of that. This is something I don't get. I don't understand why sometimes, even though your follower is loaded up with plenty of food, they will somehow just randomly have shredded roast appear in there. And I don't know whether that is some sort of weird after effect of the living settlements, or if it's something that's been going on all along and I've never noticed. I absolutely haven't seen it happen anytime prior to the Age of Heroes update back about a month ago. So now figuring out what I need for the armorer's bench. And again, I'm going to click as though I placed it, so it'll be the first thing that comes up. And you'll see in a little bit, I in those last couple of seconds completely forgot how much material I actually needed. I wound up taking a lesser amount of, I think it's stone here, than I needed. So I'll bring up the hammer and yay! Oh look, I can't make it. I needed 200 stone, not 100. So again, I'll just take a number that's close, as long as it's, not under. And again, trying to get this, pretty snug up against the fence in the back. All right, now I need to do the armor bits to finish out the armor journey, which is, crafting armor pieces, really. And to make light padding, which is what it wants me to do, I need hide and twine, which I have both of on me. Not enough hide to actually make the armor piece. Once I craft this light padding, I still need more hide. So, conveniently, take a little bit of hide out of there. And what time is it? It looks like, yeah. So, pardon me for a cough. The sandstorm is coming. And I'm going to stand here for a little bit. This is one of the most amazing bits of environmental effects I've seen in almost any game. They nailed this. Now, the first time I saw this, it was like watching that sandstorm roll in the Mummy, the Brendan Fraser Mummy movie. It's just outstanding. It looks pretty impressive. It looks pretty scary. There's a lot of clouds. There must be a lot of sand. And then it gets worse. Look at that. Look at that wave coming at me. It's just absolutely amazing. I'm going to stand here long enough until it shows me now I'm in a sandstorm, and I'm going to start taking damage. And you can see I'm now taking damage. This is why you build a base. I'm 100% protected from the sandstorm in here now. So I will no longer take any damage. I don't know if I cut out here, or if I just let this run its course. I'll have to check. I'm guessing I cut out here. Yeah. Okay, once the sandstorm actually ended, I came back out here to show you what it looks like when it clears out. because you can see the sandstorms now moving further down Noob River. If I look down in that direction, you can still see the traces of it. But if I look back upriver towards where the rapidly heading towards setting sun is, and it clears out. Suddenly everything looks like a normal day. It's a great environmental effect. I think they did a fantastic job with that. There's an awful lot of things that Funcom did really well with the look of this game, and that has always been one of the most impressive things to me, is how well they created that sandstorm. The fact that sandstorms happen irregularly but frequently is actually part of the lore of the game, and eventually we'll get into that. As you might imagine, that's probably not something that happens in a normal desert environment anywhere, where you have to worry about sandstorms, every couple of days. Or if it is, I don't want to live in that part of the world, that's for sure. All right, so I think I'm back to working the armor stage, or the armor journey. I need to craft a piece of light armor. I'm not really sure what I'm talking about right here, because I'm standing right in front of the armor bench. So, hey me, get moving. Go ahead and do that armor stuff. I'm clearly talking about something. There we go. All right. So you can see I've got a padding, and I can now make a piece of light armor. I'm going to make the light chest piece, because it's one of the highest armor level pieces in the game. Not in the game, that's silly. Of the light armor, chest and tassets are the two highest armor levels, and then helmet, and then I think gloves and boots are about the same lower levels. So I've ticked off that journey step. To put the armor on, I just right click on the armor and it swaps it out for whatever I was currently wearing, which was the coarse tunic. And you can see this is the armor. That's a piece of light chest armor for a male character. Kind of cool, not bad, nothing crazy there. But that completed the journey. And you can see it shows that it's an armor value 11, but if you look up there, I'm up to 94 in armor already. Just with the addition of some vitality in my attributes and this piece of armor. So that definitely will help. And you can see in my health bar, my health is down both from the sandstorm and possibly from the armor. That may add to some of my health. I can't remember what the light armor does. All right, so I finished off the armor. I'm going to go back to Thrall Taker. And now I need to assign a crafting thrall to a station. So I grab Inigo. And there's a tanning station right there. Here I explain what the Age of Heroes and the Living Settlements did as far as changing how this works. You used to have a spot up here where I was just showing you the tannery where you could assign the crafter. That doesn't happen anymore. You actually have to put them on the landscape, just like the fighter or anything else you want to place on a landscape. So I need to put that Inigo on my hotbar and then drop it on the landscape. Now, since I haven't turned off Living Settlements, Inigo immediately went to the tannery. They will go somewhere to do one of their needs, either start working or try to find a place to rest or get some food or something. Living Settlements, even though I've turned it off, it won't turn off until I restart the game. So Inigo's right here, scraping down some hide. Now, you see, it hasn't ticked off that journey step, though. It says assign a crafting thrall to a station is still up there. With the advent of the new system, you actually have to click on the crafting station that they're now on for the assign a crafter thrall to the station to trigger. I'm not really sure what I'm explaining about here. I guess I was checking Mandugai's stats. Agility has gone up by 3 points. Strength has gone up by 1. I think I'm thinking about changing her weapon. But I obviously haven't noticed yet the fact that I haven't finished off the Thralltaker journey. I will shortly, or at least I recall that I do. So I'm going to have her just stand guard here. Don't know why I didn't want her following me at this point, but I didn't. And I think this is where I realized that I haven't done the journey. So now I need to click on it. There we go. And now the journey is complete. Now the reward you get for doing the Thralltaker journey is absolutely worth it. And shortly here I will show you what that is, maybe. There we go. You learn how to make the purple lotus orbs that contain the knockout gas, the stuff that I've been finding in chests around Sepper Maru. You make them at an alchemist bench, which I don't have set up yet, but I'm showing, I'll put one right in there. But I'm not in any hurry to do it, because one, I don't have an alchemist to assign to it yet, but also the purple lotus orbs, the material you need to make those, I'm bringing up the map here to show you where it is all the way down at the end of Noob River. So when I last showed you what this looked like, I thought you could actually see my cursor, but you can't. So I'm zooming in now to the areas, and I'll put them in the center of the map. This area here is where you find the purple lotus flowers, and that dark area in the center of these ruins is where you find the black lotus flowers that you need to make the purple lotus orbs. And you also need water-filled orbs, which again is something that I could make if I want to make a particular crafting station. It's a crafting station that again is absolutely huge. I think I'm showing you here. My next step is I'm going to get a horse. To get a horse, I need to go all the way down to the river to that island that basically I was showing you sort of in the middle of the map just a second ago. So I need to go from where I am here. There's another spot. There's a couple of other spots actually, but the next sort of nearest, I guess, spot is up in the highlands. And I'm going to zoom in and show you where that is in just a second here. No, actually, I'm showing you the island. So this big island that's in the middle right there, that's where I'm going to go. Up here, which is now right sort of in the middle, next to that lake, to the east of that lake, is where you go if you want to go up into the highlands to get them. I'm going to make that trek because there's a fighter up there that I want to get eventually to upgrade from Mandugai, but I'm not going to do that right away. In fact, you see, I haven't really explored the desert at all. I've been spending so much time focused on getting crafters, crafting stations, and so on out in Sepper Maru that even though I'm now a level 20, I haven't even gone, up to investigate that lore stone that I mentioned that describes the shattered bridge. And frankly, I won't for a couple of videos. It's going to be a while before I get to that point. I just scrolled over my playback here to show where I'm at. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be taking a break while I swim all the way up to the north while it's dark. I'm going to swim upriver. It's the easiest way to do it. You avoid fighting anything. All I'm trying to do is get up there to get that foal to turn it into a horse. And the reason I want a horse, one, is riding around faster than I can run, and two, increased number of slots to be able to carry stuff. The other way you can do that is by getting a bearer, but since you can only have one follower, I'm going to want my fighter, not a bearer. So it looks like I'm about done here. I will see you in the next video. Okay, folks, welcome back. I have swum all the way upriver, and I'm looking at one of the foals across. That's the island I want to get to. I'm on a little island just before you get to the big one that has the foals on it. And you can see that's where I'm at right now on the map, and directly across this little channel is the big island that has the foals. And there's one, the first one I see, and this is the one I'm going to grab. Different foals can result in horses of different colors. I'm not sure exactly how that works. Somewhere online, I'm sure there are charts. You can see they're not afraid of you, so you just click on the E key and pick them up. That has increased my encumbrance quite a bit, which is now, as you can see, up at level 69, which is, you know, nice. So now I am going to head back upriver, back to the base, and start setting up the stables, and I need to convert this foal into a horse. So I can have something to move around a lot more quickly, and also have more storage space to store things as I move around, as I harvest resources. I will be cutting this back out so you don't have to watch me do the really boring swim back upriver to the base. But before I do that, I'm going to show you something over there on the shoreline on the other side. Right there at that point is a great spot to get a whole bunch of ironstone. It's all around the base, or there's a decent amount of it around the base, but also at the top is a camp. And you'll see there that just popped in. That is a camp not of the Defari fighters, which are the kind of fighters and the people you find in the camps down near where my base is. Those are pirates. And they are a bit tougher, a bit more dangerous to take on than the Defari. The things that you fight do have sort of discrete levels of how tough they are. The Defari down there at the start of New River are the very lowest. These are, I think, in the second tier. But anyway, you see there's ironstone right down here. So I'm going to go ahead and get what I can off of these two nodes. This big one, and then there's a little one right here. And if I come around to the front of this point, you see there's a bunch more ironstone. So I'm going to grab all of these. Up at the top, up in the camp, there's a buttload of ironstone up there. This is a great spot. Bring a fighter, a follower, clear out the camp, get a lot of XP for your follower, and then you can just go harvest all of that ironstone for yourself. Depending on where your base is, I mean, it's a bit of a haul, obviously, downriver, but it is a good spot. You see I'm over encumbered, so I'm going to get rid of this stone to bring me back under 100%. Now should be back around 95%. That's basically, stone is everywhere. So there's no need to hold on to it. Up there is one of the fighters who wanders up and down this particular pathway. Right now she's way up there, so I don't have to worry about catching her aggro. I could get out my bow and draw her down here, but you know, that's not the point of this. Anyway, I am going to call this an end of the video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you would like to. Please give us a thumbs down if you didn't like this, and I'll see you in the next video.